It's the season for holiday giving, and Norelco has the quality gifts to give. Give him a blade close shave, a beard and mustache trimmer, open his wine or light up his nights. Give her a beautiful new look, an ultra-thin bath scale, a cordless can opener, cleaner air, or the ultimate in ironing ease. For quality holiday gifts, it's Norelco, because even our name says Merry Christmas.
Norelco, we put quality first.
Break free and feel. Feel how splendid you are with the fragrance created by Gloria Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a rich, expressive fragrance that reveals to the world just how splendid you are. Vanderbilt, let it release the splendor of you. Vanderbilt. The American Express card buys Chinese food, rental cars, compact discs, theater tickets, ties, hotel rooms, toys, airline tickets, cruises, VCRs. But at times like these...
Everything was in that bag. My American Express card, everything.
Don't worry. Let me have your name.
The card is worth much more than what it can buy.
Yes, we can get your new card in 24 hours.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
They are some of the most familiar lines in American literature. What do my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer with a little old driver so lively and quick? I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. And so we all thought we knew how Santa Claus arrives each Christmas. But as Charles Kuralt learned on the road in New England, Santa's flight takes many forms, always toward the light.
This is a story about light and about tradition. It begins in 1927 when a pilot, lost in bad weather off the coast of Maine, spotted the faint gleam of a lighthouse, turned toward the light, and taking his bearings from lighthouse to lighthouse, was saved. In gratitude, that Christmas, and on Christmases that followed, Captain Bill Winkapaw flew over each of those lighthouses and dropped off a bundle of gifts for the station keepers and their families. In 1936, New England author and historian Edward Rowe Snow took up the tradition and flew the Santa Claus flight to the lighthouses in good weather and bad for 44 years, taking his wife and daughter along to help him with the well-padded packages of toys and books and candy that he dropped at the isolated lighthouses. His daughter, Dorothy, will never forget the thrill.
You know, it would just be very windy and noisy, and you'd go along and you'd hear you'd see him go right out the window like that, and then again, and then he'd say, they got it, and he'd be so excited. And my mother would say, now, Edward, don't lose your hat, come back in here.
Thank you for the things you sent down. I wish I could have seen the package fall.
Anna Merle Snow has kept all the letters from Halfway Rock and Monhegan, Cuttyhunk and Nantucket, from children in lonely places.
I saw you drop the package over Eastern Point Light, and I was the one who got it. I bet you make a lot of children happy. I am 14, and even I enjoyed it.
Mrs. Snow remembers watching the young bride of the lightkeeper at remote Gurnet Light off Plymouth.
She was out there, and it was her first year married, and she was so lonesome. And when she saw the plane coming, she ran out and she danced up and down. And then when the package landed, you could see her feet going. She was running as fast as she could to get it. And she held it up way over her head, and you could just feel the joy that she had at that lighthouse. It really was very nice. And it made us feel good, too, you know.
What the Snows remembered all those years, and what other people, safe in cities, forgot, was that there were people out there on those islands and headlands, Coast Guardsmen and their families, alone most of the year, and alone at Christmas. Edward Rowe Snow died in 1982, but the Santa flight was too splendid a thing to die. And that is why this year, Santa came again to the lighthouses of New England, under the sponsorship of the Hull Life-Saving Museum now, and again the shouts of wild anticipation. And again the little family groups waiting on the ground for the one exciting event of winter. And the familiar figure waving from the sky And again this year, a long way from any playmates, little children wrestling with big packages in the snow. The Santa flight started as an act of gratitude 58 Christmases ago. Nobody had to do this at first. By now, George Morgan, a Santa whose white beard is his own, finds he does have to every December.
Merry Christmas. Did you expect to see Santa Claus come up to visit you?
So an old tradition of warmth and gratitude was carried out this week in cold and stony places. Of course, it's a tradition that acts out the Christmas story of strangers carrying gifts great distances toward a light that pierces the darkness. Charles Kuralt, CBS News, on the road in New England.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Friday before Christmas. Dan Rather reporting from New York. We'll see you here again Monday. Good night.
It was beginning to look a lot more like Christmas at the Salvation Army today, with armies of donors bringing in clothing and food. How are you feeling right now?
Really happy about it.
The bags piled up and stacked up, and the Christmas spirit grew.
It's nice to be able to do something for somebody once in a while. We have so much done for us that it's only a rare occasion that we can really do for somebody else, even someone you don't know.
Yesterday, this Salvation Army basement was bare. There were supplies for one day only. Today, it's full thanks to corporate and private donations, and officials are smiling again.
We're not going to close, and we're not turning people away.
Yesterday, some applying for help had been told to come back later. Today, they'll find out later is now.
All they have to do is call 542-5420, and we'll try to service them, now that we're, quote, back in business.
The Salvation Army is set up to help low-income families. It will feed thousands of people by Christmas. For those who don't fit that particular category, though, the Christmas spirit has also hit the Pine Street Inn. Today, bags and bags of clothing were unpacked and sorted, ready for distribution. It looks like a lot, but it's not.
I don't know that there's ever enough. We always seem to need, particularly at this time of year, more warm clothes, socks, and underwear.
But Christmas is the giving time of year, and Julia Jalowski, though she says she's 72 years old and getting too old for lugging boxes of donations, is not stopping yet.
The good Lord said, there'll be always poor among you, and who can't help. So I help.
We're live here now in Mattapan Square in the midst of the Christmas spirit, where the Christmas tree has just been lighted with the help of Mayor Flynn, who's here with us now. Mayor Flynn, you've talked to the Salvation Army officials today. What were the results of those meetings?
Well, we had a very productive day. The people of Boston were just sensational. They were really down on their food supply, and we were able to put out a special message to get 1 ton of food. There is still a need. I would ask the people of the city of Boston to be as generous tomorrow as they were today. There are a number of people out there. Because of the high cost of housing, there is still a need out there for food to the Boston Food Bank and to the Salvation Army. In this Christmas period of time, 1 week to go, do what everybody can to help the needy and distant people who have been left behind.
Thank you very much. That sounds like a real holiday spirit. Merry Christmas to you, too. Back to you, Dion.
Thank you, Hank. That outpouring is really wonderful. If you did miss the telephone number for the Salvation Army earlier, that number again is on your screen. It is 542-5420. Again, 542-5420.
Kerosene heaters. Do you have one? Are they safe? The debate continues here in the Bay State, and we'll have the latest on that front. Kate?
The FBI is investigating reports a Southborough company's former owner put inferior products in their beef. Beef that then went to New England school kids. Elizabeth?
It's the second annual company Christmas at Pops. I'm Elizabeth Stern. I'll have a live report later on the New England News. Also still to come.
This x-ray shows a normal flowing artery in the leg, but before laser surgery, it was blocked. I'm Dr. Alan Zanakis, and I'll tell you about that later when the New England News continues.
Don't dash from store to store shopping for Christmas. Come into any Purity Supreme and pick up a free copy of our Holiday Planner book. See how we've got Christmas all wrapped up. We've got the most delicious holiday treats like Walker's Shortbreads, Cadbury Holiday Chocolates, and Ferrara Cannoli Shells. And a 32-ounce container of Dragoni Ricotta cheese is just $1.89. Change for the better to Purity. We've got Christmas all wrapped up.
Seiko orchestrates the movement of time, finely tuned thinness, synchronized design, A spirit of innovation. Seiko quartz clocks, moving time into the future.
Don't let winter throw you. The Toro S120 electric snow thrower can throw 200 pounds of snow a minute, and the Toro electric power shovel can throw snow up to 18 feet. See the Toro electric starting at under $100.
Starting at under $100.
Well, my world was dull and gray, hadn't felt the sun in days. Tried new Citrus Hill Select, what a wonderful effect. And my day gets going and my juices get flowing. Citrus Hill Select goes right to the heart. 'Cause the heart is where it's pure, it's my daily sunshine cure. Citrus Hill Select gets your juice and it's flowing. Citrus Hill Select gets your juice and it's flowing.
2 employees of a Cambridge computer firm are under arrest tonight for stealing $80,000 worth of computer equipment. That equipment was seized at the Somerville home of Wayne Wilkin. Wilkin and Arthur Devereaux, Jr. were employed as technicians at Computer Graphic Incorporated. Now, the police were alerted by the company following an internal investigation, and they were arrested right after surveillance officers reportedly witnessed the theft at the company.
Subsequent to the phone call, we set up a surveillance with 4 Cambridge police detectives in conjunction with their security. Detective Jones did witness the one computer system, an Apple Macintosh, being placed into one of the employees' cars.
Wilkin and Devereaux had worked at Computer Graphic for about 18 months. Kate?
The FBI is looking into charges a Southborough company substituted filler for government beef in school lunches. At least 7 New England school districts, including Boston, may have been affected. The story was first reported by the Marlborough Enterprise and the Worcester Telegram, where Mike Lawrence of our West Bureau is standing by live with details. Mike?
Kate, the alleged substitution was discovered by this company's new owners, and they have stopped it. Such a practice would not have hurt school children's health, but would amount to fraud against taxpayers. L.B. Darling of Southborough. The company uses government surplus beef provided free to schools and has paid a fee to process it for school lunches. The FBI is investigating charges more than 1 million pounds was stolen, replaced with vegetable filler and water. The formula then mixed together and sent back to schools.
The motive was a business motive, to make a company that otherwise was unprofitable appear to be profitable.
The company produces about 30 million hamburgers a year eaten by school kids, as well as a variety of other beef products. This batch was headed for St. Louis. New York and Chicago get meat from here. So do kids in a variety of New England schools, including Boston, Springfield, Medford, and Marlborough. The new owners say the vegetable filler carried no health risk to students like these Boston youngsters.
The children just got another source of protein, which is a vegetable protein. And it's a good, high-quality protein, but it's not what the school system bargained to pay for. It's very much like if you went in and wanted to buy a Cadillac that someone snuck in a Volkswagen engine into the thing.
U.S. Department of Agriculture inspectors are on duty full-time at processing plants to prevent just such a switch. This inspector was not involved, but apparently others may be.
Could something like this be missed by those people?
It's not likely.
I.e., they knew about it.
The possibility exists, and that's being, I believe, investigated.
The old owner under investigation, the Worcester-based Idlewild Foods. The firm has not denied the accusations, instead issuing a short statement saying, quote, the company will pursue its remedies not in the press, but in the courts.
The new owners say they've now restored the beef content, but they're refusing to pay the balance left on the purchase price for this company. Mike Lawrence, the New England News, reporting live from the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. Kate?
Okay, thank you, Mike. And in their defense, the USDA says, from Washington says, its inspectors simply can't catch every company determined to break the law. Back to you, Dion.
Another consumer problem, this one a possible health hazard. Governor Dukakis tonight is faced with a decision whether or not to further cut back the use of kerosene heaters. Now, home use right now is illegal for safety reasons, but still their use is widespread. Now, New England News reporter Marty Sender tells us, though, Dukakis is being asked to ban kerosene heater sales.
Overwhelmingly passed by both House and Senate, the bill would totally prohibit the use or sale of kerosene heaters, a measure the Trade Association opposes.
The point we're making is that the safety record of this appliance has been established after almost a decade of safe use. There is no basis for the Massachusetts legislation.
The industry believes a total ban would be ignored, creating a black market, that law-abiding citizens couldn't use them even in emergencies like power failures, that new safety features make the heaters safer, and that thousands of dollars in sales and sales taxes would be lost. The ban would affect dozens of Massachusetts kerosene stove dealers like Jim Dunn of Reading, who believes he's selling a safe product.
It's like anything else. Coal stove, wood stoves are dangerous. Everything is dangerous. And I am a firm believer in heaters. I've been a dealer for 6 years, and everybody that has bought mine has been very satisfied with them.
Jim sells about $30,000 a year worth of kerosene heaters and fuel, and his customers believe in the products as much as he does.
I use it in my family room to take off the chill of the room. I feel it's very safe.
There can be problems with kerosene heaters. Improperly used or maintained or not vented, they can be deadly. An older model, not these, can cause fires when tipped over. Nationwide, they caused 100 deaths and nearly 500 injuries in 1983. In Massachusetts that year, kerosene heaters caused 8 fires, but none of them were fatal. And that's a safety record the industry is proud of, and that's why they want the total ban amended to allow the sale of kerosene heaters approved by the Underwriters Laboratory. Marty Sender, the New England News, Reading.
Well, what's likely to happen here in Massachusetts? A spokesman for the governor says Dukakis hasn't decided whether or not he'll sign the bill, but since Public Safety Secretary Charles Berry has endorsed it, the governor will probably go along.
Oh, you definitely needed some kind of heater today, and I guess it's going to get downright bitter tonight. And Harvey's been saying it doesn't look like there's so much relief in sight for the rest of the week, huh?
It's true enough. Truer words may never have been spoken, Tom. On top of that, we may have a little bit of the white stuff to introduce the real bitter stuff. I'll have the complete cold forecast when the New England News continues.
Outdoor feet, indoor feet, bold feet, cold feet.
No matter how you treat your feet, Dr. Scholl's makes you feel like dancing. Cuddle up with warm Ease sheep wool fleece insoles all winter long. Stay warmer and drier with thin thermocushion insulating insoles.
Holiday feet, shopping feet.
Dr. Scholl's has all kinds of comfort for all kinds of feet, right here.
Dr. Scholl's makes you feel like dancing.
When you're feeling the stress of everyday life,
Dad, can I keep them?
the pain in the back,
Dad, my new significant other.
the strain in the neck,
Howard, are you familiar with the Incas?
We've met.
when you'd give anything for a massage, turn on the shower massage. Its pulsing jets of water, from gentle to powerful, work through whatever the day has dished out.
Howard, are you in there again?
The shower massage, only by Teledyne Waterpick.
Real back.
Now there's a smart way to buy Rayovac batteries. The Smart Pack from Rayovac with a unique zip tab. Use what you need and store the rest. Rayovac. We give you the power.
American Motors thinks you've earned a holiday bonus. Buy a new Renault Alliance sedan, convertible, or Encore hatchback and get a check from the factory for up to $700, which may be used for a down payment. And now there are factory-to-dealer incentives on new 2- and 4-wheel drive Jeep Comanche, Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and Eagle. Holiday bonus from American Motors. Check it out at your Renault Jeep dealer.
The New England AMC Jeep Renault dealers.
During the holiday season, I guess most people are ready for a little cold weather and snow, Harv?
This is true. You know, actually, though, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Oh.
See, we're coming out of the refrigerator, but we're going into the deep freezer, see, so kind of burnt you there. 62 degrees was the temperature a year ago on this date.
That seems like quite a memory, and it's going to be even more distant memory when we have the kind of cold and wind we're going to have 24 hours from now. Trust me, folks, it is a-coming. All right, here's the story now out of doors in Boston. It's fairly cold for sure, in the upper 20s, but the wind isn't too tough to take right now, west at 11 miles an hour, and the barometer is holding steady. Our very trusty South Shore New England weather watcher, Mildred Bass, 27 degrees, just a touch colder there after a high of 37 degrees. But 37-degree temperatures, that's gone for a while, folks, believe me. All right, this almost looks like the same satellite picture I showed you last night. Remember when most of us had a dusting of snow? Once again, we have a very weak system pushing through New York State and Pennsylvania. And once again, radar is showing very little because most of the snow is so light, radar isn't really picking it up. So I'm certainly not looking for a big snowstorm tonight. But we do have, from all our teletype and surface reports, an area of light snow that will move across our area tonight, probably depositing, again, a dusting in many locations, maybe an inch of that real dry, fluffy stuff, because the air both down on the ground and above will be so cold. That's when you get the dry, fluffy snow. The main purpose of this storm, though, is that it's separating just normally cold weather in the 20s here from almost outrageously cold air on the other side. Marquette, Michigan is 0, and Eau Claire, Wisconsin was 21 below this morning. That was a record. On top of that, very powerful northwesterly winds are ushering the cold air in, so we really can't miss getting a real sock of cold weather for tomorrow night, and Thursday. So once again, this is the little storm that'll move through tonight, if you want to call it that, with another little dusting of the white stuff. Then the frigid air will settle in. Now, back here, we have a series of areas of moisture that keeps coming down out of western Canada. That's going to keep happening. And finally, a fairly vigorous one will make its way toward the middle of the country and then toward the East Coast on Friday. That one has a little more potential to redevelop on the coast, and there is, at least at this point, a potential of a light to moderate snowfall on Friday. So I'd say the chances of a white Christmas are starting to look up. But if you want to know what the statistics show, believe it or not, in percentage chances, it's only less than 1 in 4 that the city of Boston has an inch of snow on the ground on Christmas Day, which is what we define a white Christmas, but the odds are always good in Worcester. Anyway, this time around, I think it may be better than that for most of us. We'll see what happens. Here's my forecast. It looks this way. For tonight, again, there might be that period of light snow later on with a dusting to an inch in most locations, temperatures in the 20s. The snow will end early tomorrow, then it'll turn clear, but bitter. The winds will freshen, and temperatures, in spite of sunshine, will go down all day. And tomorrow night, you combine wind with temperatures of 8 to 15 above, you've got wind chills well below zero. And it's not going to warm up much on Thursday either. Partly sunny, only 20 to 25 degrees. With the traveling that you may be doing in the week or two ahead, as well as maybe having some loved ones visit you, the New England weather line is, of course, good to know. 742-4636. And we'll have the latest information for you.
All right, Harv. Thank you, sir. Okay. See you later.
Coming up, some new information surrounding the crash of that Aero Airjet in Newfoundland. Investigators now say a mechanism that helps the plane to land might have been in position when that plane took off. We'll explain it. Kate.
Here's a holiday question. Do you know where the story of Rudolph the reindeer originated? The answer to be found in an Andover document center. Our North Bureau will have the little-known details of that tale coming up, so stay with us.
Holiday values now at Leechmere. The Daisy Chef's Pot Plus with 6-quart cooker, fryer, steamer, and crockery liner. Save $8. The Cuisinart DLC 8+ food processor. Powerful and easy with large feed tube. Save $31. The Sharp Microwave, 1 cubic foot capacity, auto-touch controls, and 2-stage programmable cooking. Save $30. Now during Leechmere's holiday sale. Leechmere, for the way you live today.
Got strange customs here. 8 little tiny goldfish. Yep, a special breed raised only on Pepperidge Farm. Crunchy critters and 5 tasty flavors like cheddar and Parmesan. See, Pepperidge Farm still remembers that simple things make better snacking. The best thing is goldfish are easy to catch.
This year, Federal Express is going to Europe. And to help celebrate, we've invited everyone who's ever been in a Federal Express commercial.
Accustomed as I am to public speaking, I would just like to say this certainly is a momentous occasion. I am certainly moved by it all. And it's
We're going to make sending a package to Europe as easy and reliable as it is here, with 2-day service in our own planes to London, Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Amsterdam, and Brussels. Federal Express to Europe. Why fool around with anyone else?
Meet some of New England's heroes.
She's the best. You can't find anyone better than her.
He's unbelievable. He is.
He's always working.
Once you get to know her, you can't help but be a little amazed at what she can do.
He's just a really kind person. He'll do anything for anybody.
In a special tribute, WNEV honors some local people whose deeds and actions for the people of their communities have made them hometown heroes. Saturday at 7 on Channel 7 WNEV. We put New England first.
Investigators tonight are still looking very hard into the possible cause of the Aero air crash in Newfoundland last Thursday. Sources at the Canadian Aviation Safety Board confirmed for us tonight that an engine thrust reverser was found in the wrong position. Now, that thrust reverser is used to slow down the plane while it lands. If one of the DC-8's 4 engines was, in effect, in reverse during takeoff, it could have caused that plane to lose crucial airspeed. However, experts still have to dismantle that engine to determine if the thrust reverser was on before or after the crash. 248 American servicemen and 8 flight crew members died in that crash.
Beginning January 1st, right here in Massachusetts, a new law goes into effect. It aims to make it illegal for you to ride in a car without buckling your seatbelt. Not everyone is happy with that new law, however, and New England News reporter Mark Weil is live at the State House with a man who is leading a crusade to repeal the law. Mark.
That's right, Dion. In about a half an hour from now, WRKO talk show host Jerry Williams is going to rally his listeners in this auditorium to hopefully, in their opinion, get the seatbelt issue onto the November ballot. As you know, the seatbelt law does go into effect on January 1st, and as you know, it requires all drivers and passengers in the car to buckle up. It provides for a $15 fine if you don't, and the driver is responsible. Now, the police can't just stop you for a seatbelt violation. There would be what's known as secondary enforcement. So if you're stopped for something else, you could be cited for the seatbelt violation. I talked with Public Safety Secretary Charles Berry this afternoon about the pro side of the new law.
It's a reasonable statute. The seatbelts are in your car now. It doesn't cost you anything to put them on. It will save lives. Based on that and the evidence that the medical people have brought to us, we feel we've come up with a reasonable law.
With me live now at the State House is Greg Hyatt, and he is the former executive director of Citizens for Limited Taxation, and he's involved in this effort to get it on the ballot, the seatbelt issue. If, as Secretary Berry is saying, it would cut down on head injuries and deaths and insurance costs, what's the big deal? Why do you want it on the ballot?
Well, the basic issue is freedom. It's choice. We're not against seatbelts or safety, and neither are the many thousands of people who are signing this petition. What we're against is compulsion and having adults treated as children. Children are already protected under current law. We don't need an additional law. We need more education on the issue, but we don't need to be forced to do what's good for us.
But still, what harm could it do to have people have to wear their belts?
Well, you know, liberty can be eroded inch by inch, and that's the basic issue. The issue is freedom.
Thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate your time. Now, the meeting begins at 7 o'clock, right here at the Gardner Auditorium at the State House. Live at the State House, I'm Mark Weil. Dion?
Okay, Mark. Now, this battle, of course, is not unique to Massachusetts. 16 other states already have mandatory seatbelt laws.
Well, Christmas is still a week away, but Santa Claus came to some South Shore towns a little early today. Yes, sir? And yes, ma'am? The flying Santa Claus has struck again, but without his reindeer. He spent today delivering presents to residents of 5 lighthouses along the Bay State coast, courtesy of Chopper 7. And the kids at Jacobs School in Hull got to see off Santa, alias Ed McCabe of Hull. The lighthouses, those visits are a tradition that was started years ago by the late marine historian Edward Rowe Snow. Kate?
Tom, I'm going to tell everyone about a story about one of our most famous Christmas heroes. It comes to us tonight from, where else, our New England News Exchange North Bureau. It's an organization in Andover that restores old documents. They're working on the original manuscript for Route